Hello and welcome back to Everybody Loves Raiken, our 5th edition live play that meets every Tuesday night. Last week, and by that I mean the week before last week, the party split up after dealing with the devilish problem they had caused themselves upon opening the bag belonging to Raiken's brother. They were faced once again with the Abishai they had met in the Underdark, who apparently had been given the task by their mistress, Tiamat, to protect her champion, Tatsuya. Fortunately or otherwise, by the time they were let out of the bag, like so many cats, Tatsuya was already dead, and so they were without a job. And being devils, they don't work without orders. And so the party had to put up with them for roughly an hour, while they were stuck in a trap of Laramenda's making. Luckily, they found ways to entertain themselves and torment the people around them, as devils can be wont to do, though not all are. These are. Now that they're gone, the party decided, through some deliberation, that their efforts in their fight against the dragon would be best served by splitting up, sending some to go and continue the training of the army in what time they have left before departure for Ebengard, while others, specifically Vendar and Jebel, traveled back to the university to visit everyone's favorite professor, Vicandrius, and talk to him.
Everyone's favorite squatter.
Well,
They just can't get him out of the building.
Not that any of them tries terribly hard, because that usually results in very bad burns. To see if they can convince him to help them make more weapons of war and war crimes, probably, if those have been invented yet. And so, we shall start off, give our leaders of the army a chance to kind of set the tone, set the pace of things back on Stormreef Isle, and then we shall jump back into our interrupted conversation with Vicandrius. Because I'm bad at switching back and forth between scenes. So, it is the next day. You've risen, you've divided. Those that stayed, which are Raiken, Yukikaze, Leah, Lorelei, Saltharis, and then Real Cyrus and Simulare Amendus. You are going to be the army's instructors for the day. So, General Yukikaze, have you any specific thoughts on how you'd like things to go? I've moved the tokens that I've been using to represent the army over into the area that Laramundus and Jebel created. As you are able to see, this actually would be your first time seeing it. Be all of your first time seeing it, except for Leah, actually. 1 square mile sections, 2 of them, of the island have been turned into snowy tundra, upon which, snow is actively falling. It is cold and awful, and some snowy mountainous area has been raised. The perfect to train your army on, as they are going to be heading into this exact biome.
And that was actually, we thought about it and put it in the actual season that's in right now, too.
Yes, because they're in the tundra, they're above the frost line. Even in summer, it is quite cold and snows frequently.
Okay.
During the day, it can warm up quite significantly, but at night, it's extremely cold. It's rather like a desert. But I suppose it is not technically a desert, since it does precipitate there.
I don't think I'll let the party focus on the training. Do we actually? I think I'm probably the most adept with survival tactics. I would want to say.
Could be, yeah. So do you, want to personally run the survival training?
I will. Yeah, I think a good thing, because I don't know if it was ever addressed. I'd address key points in what to do if you reach a certain, your body temperature's dropping. What to do if you need to get warm quickly. Things to do to get water and food in you properly, and knowing when you're in danger of significant injury from the weather.
Yeah, that sounds like good stuff to try to bring these people up to speed on. So you can take segments of this group and bring them in for training a few hours at a time, and then move to another group and be cycling them through the different instructors, being the instructors that were already there when the Tatsuya was under Tatsuya's command, who are now under your command, and also your lieutenants, Leah and Raiken. Simularamendis is going to be teaching magic.
I'm going to do it in rotation with giving the soldiers breaks, so we're not causing undue fatigue that's not needed.
Okay. Sounds good. Sam and Derek on this one. Since, Derek, you placed both simulacra under Laramendus' command, but he has commanded one to stay here and teach, between the two of you, what leeway does that give? It has Laramendus spell slots, so it can cast Laramendus spells, including Nalia's Second Wind, which would increase soldiers' ability to continue training or help ones that are in, let's call them, dire straits from the training that they've been doing. Who's in charge of whether...
Simulacrum by exhaustion.
I'm just saying, who's in charge of making the decision if the simulacrum does that?
So it has to obey Cyrus's orders. Mm-hmm. So if Cyrus tells it to do that, it would have to.
Okay.
I don't know that the spellcasting would be being done in the winter zone right now. Just because I don't know how... I don't know if, making sure we're introduced... I mean, it probably makes sense to do it, even though it's extremely harsh. So a simulacrum Laramendus could feasibly be there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he would probably, by default, err on the side of sending people who needed a breather out of the cold area, though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Before, at least for the people he's teaching.
Yeah.
Unless he's instructed otherwise.
Okay.
Just because, while he doesn't want to be he doesn't want to be overly harsh.
Yeah.
And basically, being like, oh yeah, you're here until you're exhausted, and I fixed it. Now, come on, let's do this. Is, real mean. Kind of, necessary, but also awful. So I think that Simulacrum Laramendus would not think to behave in that manner.
Okay. I'll move to Cyrus. What are you going to be... What do you imagine Cyrus is doing to help train these soldiers, and what involvement would he have with the simulacrum during the course of the day?
Unless simulacrum starts doing something unexpected and getting out of hand, Cyrus's focus is just going to be on probably helping the troops train by having another dragon that they can more or less spar with.
Okay. I believe that this is what Seltharis believes that she is there for as well, so I imagine especially the ones who are training survival and training to climb the mountain, she's going to be intermittently making that harder for them by, being terrifying, flying close to them, breathing fire near them, to simulate this difficult environment, and then, otherwise she'd be doing that outside of that zone as well, just to give the soldiers the best simulation of dealing with full-size dragons as possible. So, are you thinking to follow her lead on that, kind of do similar stuff?
Yep, probably do some similar things, and should I start to get tired or my dragon form come close to expiring just from extended amounts of little nicks here and there, death by 1,000 cuts, as it were.
Given that it's got like 300 HP, I suppose it's possible, though not terribly likely.
I mean, when you're practicing against an army, it seems like it could happen. But regardless, if that were to start coming close, he'd go see if there are any people he can help train in magical arts.
Okay. Leah!
Yes?
What do you believe you would be doing to help train these soldiers? Is there any subset of people here that you would want to focus on? Know that the army does include people from all walks of life. Mostly not grizzled veterans, though some of those, a lot of very young people here to avenge their destroyed homes or their lost family members. Some probably around your age.
I could spread teaching on Centaur Mill, trying to get some new followers.
You can do that, it's true. You can tell them stories of the Fae and show them your magic. Can't really teach pact magic, so to say, but you can use it in their training, and again, as you said, spread word of this archfey and see. Are you encouraging people to, or are you hoping that the end result of learning these things might be that some would choose to make a pact with Zintharmil?
Maybe, but mostly I'm just like trying to basically make them believe in him, because it gives him power.
It does give him power, it's true. But I just mean, if some of them were to show enthusiasm for this and wonder about how to get this power, would you direct them away or allow them to entertain these thoughts of pacting themselves to Zintharmil?
What would Lorelei suggest?
Lorelei will tell you that Zintharmil gains as much power from belief as he does from having more warlocks. I can't, unfortunately, imagine her using any word other than in his menagerie.
Well, I guess I will try to encourage them to try and make it a pact then.
Interesting. Okay. Sounds good.
Depending their character, I will judge their character. Like, if it seems like they have ill intentions, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Their heart needs to be in the right place.
Sure, I understand, and I think that of anybody, you're going to be a good judge of that. Is there going to be a minimum age of person that you encourage toward this? If someone is there an age in your thoughts right now that they would be too young? Say they were the same age as you, would you still encourage them? There's probably not anybody younger than you here, but there are probably at least a few people here that are right around the same age.
I would probably ask them a few questions first, make sure that they don't have like families or strong bonds, reasons to that things that would endanger them, or like that they could endanger. Like, I don't want to pluck children away from a possibly good life when the life of warlock is dangerous.
I think that pretty universally you're going to find that the youngest people here are here because they have no family left, because the dragons took them.
Oh yeah, in that case, those are absolutely, like, those will likely be the people she's going to encounter and encourage first.
I see. Give them a new family, so to say.
Yeah, I mean, I will also, I will probably start with introducing the Black Rose to those. Because they are right in the target for that.
True. Now, largely the Black Rose is not here. We're not in Bromdor, which is where the Black Rose is, or...
Oh yeah, but she's trying to make a spy network. She's trying to spread this everywhere.
Okay, so not only are you spreading the teachings of Zentharmil, and also encouraging certain people toward pacts with him, but you're also going to be encouraging people to join the Black Rose and become confidants of yours.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I like that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, but the Black Rose is primarily women.
Yes.
So...
There's no shortage here. Yeah. This is men, women, everything in between, all inclusive. There's the dragons have been indiscriminate about whom they hurt, whose family they destroy.
So yeah, so she's focusing on pretty much hiring people either to Black Rose or Zentharmil, or in some cases both.
Sounds good.
Like getting connections.
All right.
To everyone she learns the name of and encourage, she will also sneakily try to grab a piece of hair or scale or anything like that.
Okay. Sounds
because
good.
She likes to have a way to scry on people.
It does seem to be her MO. Alright, I'll have you make some rolls for that after I establish what everybody's doing. Raiken!
Uh-oh.
You're here helping to train the army as well.
Of course.
Lightning Dragonborn Beefcake, what you doing?
So this is tundra, so is there, like, how much snow is on the ground?
So it's permafrost, so the ground is frozen hard beneath it. But there are patches where the snow's as thin as, an inch or less, and areas where, you've got drifts that are as deep as several feet.
Because, Raiken is still, he's going to be training them still to fight, but also trying to add in how to use the terrain and, like, the elements to, like, their advantage. Like, using the snow, like, kicking up snow to kind of, like, blind the enemy, or, like, kind of create, like, this snowish dust storm to kind of, like, conceal their movements, or taking, if they get unarmed, to take icicles and be able to stab them, along with regular fighting techniques.
Tristan, I want to add something.
Mm-hmm.
Because Alex reminded me. We have like a sort of model of the city here, right?
Yeah, you have a sort of model of the city here. I tried to create a big area. There was a time where I had dreams of making the whole island, but it was too much work. But
yeah,
there's a large city here, good portion of it is flattened and destroyed. There's just, maybe a dozen or so buildings still standing, and usable.
And then Leah will also try to teach people to navigate the streets like an urchin. Because that could come in handy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you definitely could. We definitely could give people some lessons in that. That could come in handy. Okay. Yeah, you'd be able to do that too. It sounds good. Great. Okay. So sorry, you're doing the icicles and snow powder stuff.
Yes, and also helping them come up with catchy one-liners. Because that's right.
That is the most striking thing ever.
We're gonna dragon you to hell.
Oh
Kind
my
of,
god.
it's gonna be stuff like
Both of you
you've just
suck.
been served, or it's been revoked, or like you're a day late and a fang short.
Oh my god. Nobody's even setting you up for these. Honestly, I would say that you get weird looks at them, but I think so many of these people here are going to be too intimidated by you to really even question the shit you're saying.
There's one guy.
All the court guys.
Listen, if you say a one-liner when you kill one of their friends, all of them around you are gonna be scared as shit.
What happens if you say the one-liner and you don't kill them, though?
I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of ass.
Well, the one that you almost killed is now going to be scared that he's going to be made an example of a second time.
Please
The one who said that is like nodding very like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense.
Alright, so the most important lessons, of course, are being taught by Raiken.
Whatever you do, though, don't ever use the day as mine. That's my line. Don't ever say that.
Oh, you get somebody being like, "Oh, that's kind of like
something.
that's kind of like General Tatsuya's line." Did you get it from him?
What? No, that's my line. He got it from me.
Oh, I don't think that's true.
Ah, that bastard. Taking my glory.
God, I just watched the episode where you gave the Tatsuya line that was similar, and I can't remember it suddenly for the life of me. I'm angry.
Oh, I can't remember it either. It was supposed to be like that line, but
Yeah.
like almost like opposite.
We gotta go find it so you can use it. So they can use it against you. Let me correct that.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, why don't all of you, roll me the skills associated with what you're teaching people, so, we can kind of get an idea of how well that training's going, though honestly it sounds great.
It's a good mixture.
Yeah. So, why don't you give me strength and charisma? Raiken. Yuki, give me that survival and, just a constitution one. And put them in the text chat so I can read them.
Okay, mine was strength and what? Charisma?
Okie dokie.
Yeah, strength and charisma. You can... God, I don't know what persuasion, I guess, for equipping.
Oh, fuck.
Whatever it is, it's clearly not intelligence.
Should I
Should you?
should I test the luck of the sharp edge resin? Nice.
Yeah, go for it. Laramendus, why don't you give me an Arcana?
Okay.
Let's just go with Arcana.
Oh,
This is so Raiken. My rolls.
Good at the thing that's bad and bad at the thing that's important.
Yes.
Good. That's exactly what it should be. Leah. I want you to roll me some persuasion, yeah, definitely persuasion. And what is it that you use to navigate? That one's just a feature. It's not sleight of hand, maybe stealth.
A sleight of hand for like taking the hair and such, I believe.
Definitely do that. Yeah. Okay. So give me persuasion, sleight of hand. Cyrus.
Dice failed me.
No, I'm sorry. Cyrus, you can give me a charisma and you know what, a con.
Are you wanting it in ping, right?
Yeah, that way I can just see what the numbers are. Just to kind of get a general idea of how well or needs improvement things go.
Do I need to roll something for the like navigating the city?
Well, that's what I was trying to think of, which is the first time I said the sleight of hand. Wisdom, I guess.
Simulacrum Laramendus only has a plus 15 to his Arcana.
Oh man, he's gonna
Because he doesn't have Ash and he doesn't have the headband. The item.
So just pure wisdom, is that what it said?
Of course you'd get 30 on freaking charisma, Raiken.
Wisdom insight, I think, is a good one.
Question.
Oh wait, never mind.
Who's just
Sorry, I
Alright,
messed that up.
well, yeah, okay, sure.
Because
I messed it up.
navigating is something.
Yeah,
understandable.
that's correct.
It's
Navigating, I
less
like
than
that.
that. It's less.
It's not 30.
I was looking at the wrong one.
Oh,
It's
no.
still big, but not that
I'm sure.
big. I wasn't going off the check numbers.
Yeah, my rolls were not as good as I hoped, because I do have decent pluses.
Mine was very good.
If they were going off my save numbers, they'd be amazing.
Jeez, freaking Leah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there aren't any.
I rolled very good. Like I rolled a 19, 18, then 12.
Yeah, there aren't any bad rolls here. So everybody, who's teaching stuff today, all of you, at the worst, you're doing a good job, and then there's people who are just fucking head and shoulders above the class and just really getting through to their students very well with
The students seem like they're heavily engaged.
Yes.
No, sorry, it was 16, 19, and 12.
Okay.
But still.
To be fair, Raiken rolled a 6, and he has a 6 in strength. That's the only reason he has a 12.
Sam's over there complaining he's only got a plus 15, and then he rolls a 17.
Yep. I rolled the 17, and I was like, oh, that's super. And I was like, oh, wait, what do I actually have? And then I took down the numbers, and then I had to, you know.
So he rolled really well, and
Moaned
then
about
bitched about his
yeah.
plus. Wow.
And then I was like, well, should we say that I have disadvantage because it's the simulacrum? And then I was like, but it's teaching Arcana specifically,
Yeah.
which would also maybe just have advantage for him for, you know, like 100 years of practice. So the single roll is probably fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, Leah, you are, in fact, able to get samples from everyone you want to without anyone noticing. Which is honestly
Right,
impressive.
that's what the sleight of hand was.
Yeah.
It's expected that you're taking these notes, especially as you're trying to get people to become confidants for you, so they expect to be noted down by name and have a description written. So nobody thinks it's weird that you have your diary with you, and they just don't notice you putting things in it other than words.
Yeah, I mean, she has gotten a lot of practice doing this.
It's true. She spends time around Vendar, too.
That's what I was like, she knows Vendar.
Yeah.
He just
She's
sort of...
seen him work.
You're
Or-
a bad influence, dude.
I guess a lot of the time she hasn't seen him work. She's just seen him with things that he wasn't supposed to have.
His plus
that's
is high
fair.
enough that it just sort of affects the people around him passively. But yeah, honestly, they really take to moving through the little alleyways of the city and utilizing what's left of the buildings and also the debris to conceal their movements through. And with a 27, you're going to get a lot of people very excited about the idea of a powerful, unseen force giving them magic. You're honestly probably going to be fighting people off, trying to convince them not to make this pact, more than you would be fighting to convince them to do it.
This is basically got like one of those cues, like you know in Pirates of the Caribbean when I try to hire pirates.
Yeah. Yeah. The parrot. You gotta talk to the parrot. Yeah. So, yeah, the long and short of it is, training today goes, better than expected, even in the worst cases, and amazing in the best cases. Raiken, they do fine with your unconventional fighting techniques that you're trying to teach them, how to use their environment and all that to their advantage. But the thing that really gets them jazzed and they really seem to take to is saying one-liners at each other and trying to goad one another.
Yes.
For some reason, you just got a group that was really excited to insult each other while fighting.
Like the dragons, these are like ancient dragons that inspire fear and terror and everything around them. And then, like, this army's just walking up and just shouting like shitty puns at them as they're just quaking, like staring them down. It's like, what the fuck do I even... What?
It's because of all the practice we got with the insult sword fighting.
What a great morale boost. Exactly, yes, the insult sword fighting.
Secret of Monkey Island was the key to victory all along.
Yes. I knew it would come in handy.
I didn't, but I'm sure glad it did. Oh, goodness. As for the dragons, they're certainly putting the fear of dragons in people. And, the soldiers are working on it. Like, none of them have, well, only a couple of them have dropped their weapons and fled, as the dragons swooped low or breathed gouts of flame near them. None of them did particularly well, charging the dragons or landing good hits, but the vast majority of them stood their ground and tried, which is pretty significant considering the trauma that a lot of these people have been through recently, their reason for being here. That desire for vengeance carries you so far, and then once you're in the facing down that thing once again, you don't know how people are really going to hold up. And they're doing okay, I would say. Sotharis is definitely enjoying herself just flying around and breathing fire near people. I think that her laughter is probably disconcerting to those people.
She's normally supposed to be, like, the good dragon.
She gets to pretend to be a bad dragon.
You know what? Being a bad dragon ain't so bad.
No, I get it.
I could get used to this.
Alright. The phrase is now evil dragon. We're not allowed to say the other one anymore.
I'm confused.
Good. Okay.
Stay
Very
confused.
confused.
All
Stay
right.
confused.
So
I really want.
things on
really wanna clear that up.
Stormreef, shush. Things on Stormreef aren't going good, and we're gonna leave it at that. Thank you all for your contributions. Good God. Right. We had ended with you wanted to show him the nitroglycerin, and he was coming over to take it from you. He had just finished, air quotes finished, asking Laramundus about his experience of the goo bomb. Each token can only exist on one map at a time, if they're unique. So when I move them over, they disappear. Okay, so you are holding up the cotton-wrapped sphere. Here it is the middle of the night, perhaps a little after midnight at this point, on Sol Syracuse, and the whole square around this building is dead quiet. And inside there is only the sound of the bubbling of different alchemical setups. He has multiple calcinators running, with different bulbous flasks and alembics transferring liquids as they heat up from one to another. As he limps towards you, that characteristic lean as he leads in, that leaning back that leaning forward, as he kind of comes at you chin first, and these goggles come, right up to your chest, your dragonborn chest, as he reaches out as if to take the flask from you, and then rotates his wrist so that you can place it in his hand.
I will do so.
And he's going to handle it in two hands, seeming to kind of get a sense of the feel of it while staring up at you with those purple lenses in his goggles, before gently picking at the cotton and peeling it back, exposing the glass flask beneath, with its cork stopper and its very clear as water contents, which he will hold up to his ear, never seeming to break eye contact with you, though you can't see his eyes through the goggles, and he'll just gently twist his wrist next to his ear, causing the contents to slosh ever so slightly inside. He'll say, "You know how this is produced at all? What its composition is like?"
Can I roll to see if I might know anything
You
about
can, but you are unaware of the process. You simply bought it. You know what they call it.
it? But I do know alchemy, so I think
You do, but you've never had a chance to really... Your experience of it was... this is more of it than you've ever seen, since it was explained to you by the guy, just how dangerous it was, and you told him you wanted it, and then he handed you these covered vials, and when you blew them up, you were blind.
Yeah. Alright, so I'll hold them. Assume I'm not gonna know that much. I don't know that much about it. I got a 15 on die.
15 on die. Which means you did slightly better than that, I think, because it's your poisoner kind of thing.
If it's with proficiency,
Yeah.
It's what 10 at this point?
Yeah, if you're proficient in it and you have expertise, then it would be 10.
Do I have?
Actually, wouldn't it be 12? Proficiency is plus 6 at this level, right?
It says that's somewhere on here,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
So if you have expertise in it, it would be 12. If you don't, it's 6. But at the very least, with proficiency, you can't roll less than 10 anyway, but you didn't. Due to reliable talent. Anyway. So we'll assume you got at least...
I think I'm just proficient. I think that would make it a 21.
With a 21... With a 21, you have some thoughts on how other flammable, combustible substances you've experimented with are made. You can make some guesses as to what things it might have been derived from, but you are not certain of any of them.
I have some theories, but...
He, continuing to gently slosh it next to his ear, takes a moment as you tell him this, and he says, "That's quite all right. We have all the equipment we might need to figure out how to reproduce it, I think. Unless there's anything particularly special about this. Its secrets will soon be known."
So hopefully we can reproduce it and stabilize it too. Reproducing it's the most important, but stabilizing it would also be nice because it is very volatile.
Yes, the substance excited by movement. As you said, you simply jostled it strongly before, and it combusted. I think that if we find a way to change its state from liquid to solid, that will solve some of that problem, he says as he turns away. Are you going to join me, boys? I could use your... And as he sets the flask down on the table and it starts to gently roll towards its corked side while he's not looking at it, he waggles his gloved hands at you, his exposed fingertips. He says, "Your hands in this operation." The thing actually does roll off the counter behind him, and you don't even really see the movement, because his hands were just between you and him as he waggled the fingers at them, but his left hand just shoots out and catches it mid-fall. Oops. That was...
I think all the blood leaves Laramond's face.
We would have needed another sample. Butterfingers.
This is, this is nitroglycerin, is it?
It is.
Sorry to interrupt. I don't want to interrupt, but Jebel's stuff is like creating electrical static. For me, I don't know if it's for anybody else.
Yes, a little bit. But yes, this is the nitroglycerin, Jebel.
So,
I heard so, and then I heard nothing.
Yeah, that
you're good
was
now.
clear.
yeah, I don't know why anyone would design a USB headset that has a 3.5mm jack microphone. It makes no sense.
Weird.
Anywho, I had a question about... Yeah, that's nitro. Where are we now?
You are in his lab.
Okay. That's me.
Yeah, that's
Yep,
you.
that's me.
Yep.
Turn that.
he's going to call back across the room and say, Professor, why don't you step up and assist as well? I wouldn't want you to miss out on the lesson I have prepared.
Out of character. Oh, that's a mean thing to say, because he was planning on just being like, I don't think I need to be here, and just leaving. But, like, observing the work so that it can be recorded in a place that might not explode.
Ash just whispers to you and says, Scholar, the upshot to this is that even if it does explode, it probably can't hurt me.
No, probably can't hurt me.
Yeah, he said me.
No. Emphasis on me.
Yeah. He just didn't emphasize it. But the emphasis was there.
No, I remember what I wanted to ask. Is how much of the nitroglycerin is there still?
There were 3 bottles? Yeah.
Does he have... He has, like, maybe test tubes and those little drippy things, the,
Tongs?
The things with, like, the rubber on the end so you can slurp up the stuff.
Pipette?
Well, pipettes... I don't know if pipettes have that.
Rubber scoops. I mean,
Rubber,
it sounds like
like,
you're talking about tongs to grab the test tubes with.
No. Like, if you've got something in a test tube, liquid in a test tube,
Yeah.
stick this in. It's got a little rubber bulb thing that you squeeze.
Okay.
And then when you let go, it creates a vacuum and sucks it up.
Oh, that's what we call a pipette.
Like IV.
Ah.
Yeah, that's a pipette.
We call that a pipette here.
So he has those.
Yeah.
They're kind of like a really teeny turkey baster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pipette.
I'm curious. I don't know how much Jebel knows about the nitroglycerin, apart from, like, seeing it in action that one time.
That's pretty much all you'd know.
Yeah, so... Can I experiment with it too?
Oh, absolutely. He's encouraging this.
So he's going on about, like, jostling it and how unstable it is. So what Jebel will do is he will take a test tube and a small amount, like a teeny tiny drop of it, put it into the test tube, maybe cork the test tube, and just shake it to see what happens.
I picked the wrong person to stand next to.
Lerma just sees these tests happen. He's like, "We're all gonna die."
I mean, literally, like a drop, like, like it's the
There's a
test tube,
small
like,
explosion. You look at your mangled stump where your hand used to be.
Maybe there's somebody here who can cast Regenerate if that should happen.
Yeah, maybe there is. Maybe he's like 3 foot tall and has it prepared.
That seems
Yeah, so
unlikely.
you'd be like, huh. Well, that was a worthwhile experiment. Let me just go ahead and fix this.
I want Jebel to reincarnate his hand so that it comes back as like a crab claw or a tentacle.
Goodness gracious, all you people want bad things to happen to your friends.
Yep. 7th level spell.
See, what do we got here? Oh, industrial. No, that won't do. Nope. I just thought I would have some nice alchemy stuff. They're not giving it to me. That's what I need, is alchemy stuff. Unless... Nope, they do have it. I thought I remembered having it. Here we go. Yeah. Alchemy stuff. This is kind of alchemical, right? Yeah. Totally. Not that. Maybe one of these.
It's aesthetic.
Get one of these going. And, I don't know, what's this? Nah, that doesn't count. What about this? Nah, I don't like that. I'll just get another one of these over here. There we go. Alright, that's good enough. I'm sorry. Did any of that get created? Ew. Why are you... How do I make it not on the TM layer? Shit!
I can see some stuff there now.
Yeah, one of the things I put down... Luckily everything else was fine, but one thing I put down ended up on the DM layer, and I don't know... Maybe I just have to do a hide volume over it or something. Oh, you know what? I bet it's in the hide layer, because there's a light there that is hidden. So if I put this over here more... Maybe now it'll be okay. Yeah, okay. It's just that it was inside the hide layer. We're good. We're good. Sorry about that. This is what happens when I don't take the time I need to put up the stuff I want. That was weird. Okay, there we go. That's interesting. I know what's happening. Hey, filters. Light. There we go! I thought it was dark here! They changed how my hide layers worked. Hide volumes, rather. Give me... I was like, why is it so dark? I have all these lights here. Rude. Look at how bright it's supposed to be here.
Lysandrus is just waiting for somebody to comment on it being dark.
Yeah, Lysandrus was. I wasn't. You know what? This is fine. This is more than... Let's... Give me this one, too. Good gosh. Good gosh. This whole time I didn't realize. I'm just sitting there going, man, I put all these lights up and they're really not lighting the place. There. Better. Okay. Well, now it's a little bit better illuminated. Slightly. Sorry about that. Alright, you guys. Jebel, Vendar, Laramendis. Let the experimentation begin. So, I'm gonna have these guys roll some alchemy. So, gosh, that's a wisdom roll, I believe, right? You guys know what to roll if I say that, so that I don't have to remember. The silence is very encouraging. I like it.
You know, all the craft things used to be intelligence way back in the day.
Yeah, way back in the day, it's true. But there was the... Like, what have you been rolling with, Vendar, for your poisons?
I just roll the die plus proficiency bonus because I have proficiency in poison kit.
Oh, haven't been doing a stat with it?
No, I didn't the last one. Should I have a stat with it?
Probably.
Sure
Usually they do, yeah.
We'll
I'm
say...
not sure what it would be associated with.
Let's say intelligence. That's reasonable enough. I think I had chosen wisdom.
Well, what does that change?
Huh?
Does that change anything?
You get to add your intelligence mod to it. If it's negative, then unfortunate for you.
Well, wisdom would be better than.
Well, yeah. A lot of people, wisdom is better than intelligence. Most people dump int except wizards.
My wisdom's 15, but my intelligence is only 12.
Well, at least it ain't negative.
It's still better than what you were rolling, though.
It's plus 7 instead of plus 6.
You need to do it with charisma, Tristan. Then you can do it as in you encourage the chemical reaction.
He's got that hat. It's gonna make him too good at it. Encourage the potion to be its best potiony self.
I think that we're far enough outside of Laramendez's realm of experience that he probably can't provide the help action to anyone.
Was he just never like a hands-on kind of person, so he can't even like help guide vials or anything like that? Honestly, it's fine. You can write things down.
Yeah, I think. I mean,
with your mind.
He could like do things at somebody's direction.
Okay. Well, you do have like 3 experts here.
Yeah.
Visandrius just wants to make sure you're included in the learning. Doesn't need you running off and reporting him to anyone in the midst of his experiment. It is not opaque that is what he has done.
Yeah, he knew that I was going to go and talk to the dean. Not about him.
Well, he didn't know that.
He would have come up. Yeah, he didn't know that, but you take enough chances, like, fool me 10 times, and...
Yeah, he was not about to take the risk. Not when he's just been given something so interesting that would definitely be taken away from him. Alright, so, Jebel, intelligence plus proficiency, medicine, kind of roll.
That's proficiency. It's 18.
18?
Wait, did you say medicine?
Yeah. What did you roll? Or, like, what did you add to your roll?
6, because I'm added proficiency.
Yeah. Proficiency, that's fine. Do you have any points in medicine? Like, what's the stat? Do you have any intelligence to add to it?
Well, medicine's a wisdom roll.
That's probably why I was thinking wisdom, because I think that's what I used to have them use.
That makes sense to me.
8 on medicine.
Medicine's just applied chemistry, applied to the body.
So are we going with medicine then?
Give me your medicine rolls.
Okay, 22 then.
That's 23.
23, 22, and he had a 23. Yeah. Well, he's also good at this. Alright.
I can't get that for medicine.
I am proficient in medicine.
Nice.
As am I.
Alright.
You got proficient in medicine. That thing.
Is it the when we did the
Yeah, one of the times where we stayed at the place for like a week or something.
Okay, I need all 3 of you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
I'm good at those.
I'm not particularly good at those.
I can do them.
It would help if I found a D20.
Yeah, shit. I don't think I did that one. That's an 8.
20. Dirty 20.
Nice. I mean, dirty.
24.
Okay. Luckily he did well too. That's what would that be? 22? 22. You rolled very high. Okay, so 30, 20, 24, 22, 8. Let's grab the fun dice.
I don't like the fun dice.
You know? It's so weird. Let's do that. All I've got are the fun dice. Okay.
I guess I don't like the fun dice after you've told us to roll saving throws.
I suppose I should have told you I was rolling the fun dice and then asked for a saving throw.
Because then I'd be excited, and you're like, and now?
And now, roll the saving throw.
And it's like, oh no.
Okay, so, those of you that got your nice high dexterity saving throws, you're going to receive 16 points of force damage. And Jebel, you're receiving 32 points of force damage, as the experiment explodes violently and destroys most of the desk.
Good
I
thing
think I
can't be
use my
hurt.
reaction to protect Jebel if I can notice that he is probably like at the source of it, and so not gonna have as easy of a time.
So you're going to throw your projected ward at him?
Dodging. Yeah.
Okay.
Which
means you don't get
all
any
of it.
ward.
I
Right?
don't think that's the case.
That is interesting.
When a
That's
creature
right.
can see within 30
It
feet
takes,
and takes damage, you can use your action to cause your arcane ward to absorb that damage. If this damage reduces the ward to 0 hit points, the ward creature takes any remaining damage. So I guess, who takes damage first, him or me?
I mean, because yours is passive and his is a reaction, you can technically do both of them according to the rules as written. It's just really weird, because it would seem to me that you have sacrificed your ward and given it to somebody else. But that's not how it's written.
Yeah. The way that I imagine it is like you extend the bubble around you so that it goes around somebody else as well.
I see.
So like you're still within the bubble as opposed to you like hucking a bubble at somebody.
Reasonable.
But like either of them could technically make, not for rules as written. Rules as written, you're always protected by it and you can extend it as well.
I'm just going to
But one of us is taking 1 point of damage, depending on the order of people getting hurt. Because the ward's 45.
Yeah. And
And
16
it's-
and 32 is 48.
Yeah, so 3 points of damage to whoever is second.
Right. I will say that you will just take the damage simultaneously. You'll each take half of that, so each of you take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
As the bubble is extended to include Jebel and then shatters. No one... Unsurprisingly, no one is protecting Lysandria, so he takes his full 16 points of damage. He takes it with his scar tissue, so he doesn't...
So it's reduced by half.
He
Yeah.
doesn't even notice.
He picked up Dungeon Delver, takes half damage on traps, even though he didn't mean to set.
And
This was with a drop.
yeah. Well, no, this is with the flask. You had a drop. He was using the whole rest of the flask and running several things in parallel, and one of them exploded, setting off the other ones.
What did my shaking do?
What did your shaking do? Well, yours didn't necessarily go off, you just have the drop, and because you were shielded, you know, you could, let's say, reasonably have had your little sample in your hand, and it would be fine. It would be safe in your hand right now because of the projected ward. But I'm not sure what you'll accomplish with just a drop, but you
I
have
just
it.
want to shake to see. I was testing to see just how.
Oh, how
is.
volatile it
If I-
is?
Yeah, if I just have a drop and I shake it,
Okay, yeah,
does
so
it
you...
react with itself?
Okay, I'm sorry. So you put it in the vial, you stoppered it, and then you just shook it as hard as you could?
Yeah. Just to see,
Um,
like, does it like little mini explosion, or is
Yeah.
that not enough?
No. There is enough there. This stuff is very unstable. So the moment you jostle it, you shake it, you give it a couple good shakes in your hand, and it does give off a little mini pop, which is enough with it stoppered up to explode the vial in your hand. Which would be like another single point of damage. It's very small. But again, because it was stuck in a compressed way, it would have popped the vial.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 point of slashing damage or piercing damage as the glass hurts you.
No, that's fine. Now, where is it's? Vendar's right next to me. I just turn and look at him and go like, "This stuff is insane."
I know, right? I love it.
He just got
make more of it.
Lysandrius, his clothing like blackened, the left side, his skin exposed through his now torn and burnt away lab coat, his goggles slightly askew, so you can just almost see his left eye. It's all burned scar tissue around there. More of it had been hiding under the goggles. His hair was already flopped to one side, his scalp there scarred, so now it's just all that scar tissue is just sort of opened up, and he's just bleeding from a bunch of small spots around his face, neck, and shoulder. And he says, well, lively little chemical you have there. We can't simply emulsify it in its current state. We'll have to find another substance to mix in to stabilize it during the heating process. You have more, don't you?
I had 2 more vials, so we gotta figure it out before we run out.
We'll be more careful with this one. I will divide it between containers, and we'll use one at a time, setting the others in the safe.
Is there any... Are there any pieces of cloth around here?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I want to get, like, a tiny piece of cloth,
Mm-hmm.
put it into another test tube, put another drop in.
So it's absorbed by the cloth.
Yeah, and then shake that.
Okay.
Shake the hell out of that.
Okay.
See what happens.
I think Laramanus just like gives you a look.
Nothing happens to that one. With it absorbed into the cloth, you can't impart significant energy through shaking to ignite a reaction.
I'm just like, And then I'm going to turn around and throw it at, like, the far wall.
I mean, the glass smashes against the far wall. As soon as the damp bit of cloth hits, there's a little pop and little particles spread out like confetti.
Like, okay. I'm out of ideas.
That's all right. I'm not. We have several agents we can try adding to find out if there's something it will play nicely with. So you're going to spend some time on that. He is going to take your next vial from you. He is going to carefully dish it out into several small vials. And he's going to place these vials into the cabinet under the workbench that just exploded. He seems to call this thing the safe. It seems anything but.
Is there perhaps not a storage container farther away from this bench where things are exploding?
Certainly there is, Professor, but then I would have to cross the entire room to get there, and that would slow our experimentative process. Besides, as you can see, the contents of this safe are perfectly protected from the They were
Yeah, he just,
perfectly
like,
protected from the
pops the top of
explosion
the desk and then
before
it just
this
explodes.
one.
Why don't I take it across the room and I can bring you the vials when you need them?
This is an acceptable solution to the problem, Professor. I can always count on your facilities where mine fail.
Lormentus is the most careful he's ever been in his entire life
He
when
just, like-
moving this stuff.
He's got like 8 vials. He just gathers 7 of them together, clinking against one another, and holds them out in a bundle at you. Over there, he points at the far corner. There should be a wooden rack or 2 that these will fit in. Now,
Lormentus calls over Cyrus to help carry them.
Cyrus, of course, obeys as he was told to. He carefully carries the vials over to the indicated rack. Says, now then, boys, let us try science. I do love the smell of science in the morning. So that will carry on for, honestly, several hours. Give me a few more of those same rolls. Give me 4 of them. You can probably do your cat thing. I don't want to hold you up from that too long.
Cool. Yeah, I will go and run and do that. I have no more ward, so should there be explosions, I will not be protecting anyone.
Yeah, you could probably be on the other side of the room, taking notes from there for anyway.
That way, it's easier for. That way, I can bring him the vials when he needs them without having to run across the room and run back. It's efficient, and
Ash has indicated that he believes he is indestructible. Do you trust him to sit over there and observe up close while you sit back?
Yes, I think I do.
All right then. He will serve as like a scrying eye, effectively. All right, you guys. Your medicine rolls, 4 of them.
I got 2 18s, a 26, and a 25.
Nice.
Want me to write them down?
Yes, please.
The 18s are because I got less than 10.
What are these? These are...
Medicine rolls. Just like the one you made a little while ago. Before the explosion.
How many? Just the 2?
4.
4.
Oh.
Well, Lysandrius is beasting things.
I'm not.
The 18 is as low as I can roll.
Well, he's capable of rolling lower, but didn't.
That's 15, 26, 16, and 23.
Okay, I got him. Okay. So, there are some more experiments run. A couple more small explosions. These ones with little enough juice that you collectively from the rest of the experiments are going to take another 18 points of damage as little things go off here and there. We'll just say
Are they all deck saves?
Yeah, we'll just say whatever the save was, that's what you take.
Okay, well, if they're deck saves, then I don't take anything.
Take 18 points.
Okay.
Gotta suffer for your science a little bit. Think you'll survive 18 points.
Yeah.
You can have a fun scar. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever you like. Laramendus is back here with Simucyrus. I imagine he would not want Simucyrus up there just because that's your ride home. And he's got less health than regular Cyrus. So, I guess it's 50%.
Well, he has less health than
dragon
Dragon
health.
Cyrus.
Yeah. Bullshit. Anyway. So, after several hours, a few more explosions that no one seems to come running about. Like, even that first large one, no one came in here and stopped you. He finally figures out, the three of you together, I want to say, not him, the three of you together finally find a solution, literally, not the answer, but a solution, that is able to be made into a solid and made into a stable version of the nitroglycerin.
Hey, dynamite.
You, in fact, did. The chemical formula of TNT being trinitrotoluene, made from nitroglycerin, is now yours.
Yeah.
He is able to figure out how to make the nitroglycerin. It's actually not that hard, as long as you've got organic matter to get the glycerin from. Fat from living creatures. It boils down quite well into it. So, kill yourself some fatty animals. There are a few as fatty as humans, though.
Find a big fat guy and cut him down.
Find a big fat guy and cut him down. And maybe you can make some TNT from him. So yeah. Glycerin to make nitroglycerin, nitroglycerin to make trinitrotoluene, trinitrotoluene packed into whatever shape makes you happy, ignited, there's your TNT. Dynamite.
Yay.
Dynamite. It does take several hours to come to this, but you get there, and he's able to. It comes out of his setups, his chemical distillers and alembics, calciners, yada yada. All this, how he distills it out. It comes out as a kind of a powder, a granular powder. Which he takes and scoops onto a handkerchief, and then ties that around it, and then sets it on fire and throws it out the window. And a few seconds later, boom! There's a bright flash that illuminates the outside of the building. It illuminates the inside of the building in oranges.
Suck.
Yes, yes. I am quite pleased with these results. I have made note of our experimentations, which ones were fruitful and which pathways, while well-intentioned and informed, were dead ends. Thank you, Vendar and Jebel, for bringing me this substance. I shall run further experiments of my own to see what else might be accomplished.
I can't wait to hear what you find out.
Yes, it would have taken less time if you could have gotten the production method from whomever gave you the substance, but as you can see, we can solve our own problems, given our great minds when they work in concert. I only wish you intended to stay at the university. We could accomplish such feats of science as the world has not seen.
Tell you what, I'm excited about it. I think in the future we'll have many more successful partnerships.
Of course, please hear this and know that you are always welcome in this laboratory anytime you like. And the offer of future partnership long-term stands. Whenever you are free enough to entertain it.
Hopefully, once we're done with the dragons here, that we'll be able to do lots of experimenting.
I think that you will quite surprise your winged lizards with this product.
And of course, as a thank you for the help, I will pull out 4 vials of purple worm poison and hand it to him.
He just immediately that finger goes to his mouth as he chews on the knuckle. And, yes, he holds out his free hand. Very generous. Mr. Draknir removes the finger from his mouth and takes the 4 vials in 2 hands, clutching them to his chest. I will do great things with this material.
The last time we saw Lysander, was that before we went to the Feywild?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we went from here to the Feywild.
Yeah.
Sure.
I am going to turn to him and ask, have you ever heard of a substance called, and I'll turn to Lara Mendes, Bottle of Night?
I'm certain were Sam here, he would react by going pale.
Yeah.
It does not ring any bells currently. What is it?
Not 100% sure. It was when we went to the Feywild. Turns out Lara Mendes' family had a still where they made potions and possibly poisons. We found the remains of this substance in the still. None of them could tell us anything about it because they had sold the information to a Fey.
Yeah, so they remembered the name, but that was it.
Professor Laramendus never told me that he had such an interesting home life.
Tell us further.
I should pry into that later on. Do you have some of this bottled night with you? We could try to break it down and determine its components like we did with the nitro.
I believe we gave that to the Temple of Ione.
That's right. We can give our one sample of them. So.
That's quite all right, boys. The Temple of Ione is famous for not asking why you want any piece of information. This is quite an acceptable arrangement to me.
We did find out some pieces of information about what it's made from and what it does.
You found out from the temple?
Mm-hmm.
Then
Not easy to make. Quite a couple of the ingredients come from the Feywild.
Well, if only I were in a place that had easy access to the Feywild, then perhaps I could continue my Wait a minute. Boys, I've just been reminded I do have ready access to the Feywild here. I will retrieve what information Temple has gathered on your bottled night, if it is actionable. Then perhaps I will have good news before too long, though I think that my first priority is replacing my assistant for Purple Worm trials. You're busy, are you not?
Yeah.
A shame.
I'd love to stay and do more, but we do have a lot of things we need to get done and not a lot of time, so...
Worry not about it, Vendar. I will find a suitable assistant for the poison. In the meantime, someone had better clean up this laboratory. It's a pigsty.
Not it.
Vendar has been volunteered.
Vendar will help clean the laboratory.
I will sweep up like the mess I made when I threw the vial over at the window. Wall.
Very well. Goodness. I want to give Laramendus a chance to talk to the Dean now that you are being released here. But I fear he's not yet done with the cat. What other things might you guys have wanted to hit here before returning to Stormreef? Anything in particular? Nothing. It's pretty late. Like, it was 11 p.m. when you got here. It's now like 4 in the morning.
Did we see what? They have magic items for sale.
They might. It's,
Right.
They're not really They're really... I've tried to be clear about this earlier in the campaign, but, like, magic items being sold is pretty unusual. There are few enough in the world that either they're being held onto as heirlooms or for study, or as holy relics, or they're, like, super rich people who have collected them. And then there's you guys who have either found...
Who are super rich people who have collected them.
I mean, that is accurate to say.
Yeah, because we do fit that last group.
Very well, you do. So, like, there is not a magic item economy in this world because they're not easily made. There's, like, 5 people currently alive in the world who can create them, and that includes Laramendis and Nalia. So 3 that you haven't met, potentially. And, like, as they've told you, the easiest way to produce them is to be able to infuse magic directly, and Residuum is the best way to do that, and the only place besides what you have that you've seen Residuum was some guy from another dimension. Which is not to say that there is no other source of Residuum in this world, but it is not known. You found one. There may be a couple others in the whole of the entire world, and they are just as hidden and just as unknown as the one you found. And I mean, that's just law of averages talking, so that's stuff that your character can kind of guess at. You know, that's the gut feeling you get, is that, yeah, there's probably Residuum in places other than Garland. But they're going to be just as hidden and unknown as Garland, if not more. Because if they weren't, then there would be Residuum in the economy, and there isn't. Is it possible that it's like Tuca, and they have their special spell scrolls that other people don't really know about? Yes. There could be a place that does actually regularly use Residuum that the rest of the world is unaware of. If I were to make a guess, it would be one of the places you haven't been.
It's like the Emperor of the Four Kingdoms.
Like the Empire of the Four Kingdoms. Empire of the Four Queens. But yeah, so you can ask, but I would definitely be prepared for them to say either straight up no, or whatever magic items they have are not for sale.
That's good. You don't find out if you don't ask.
It's true. Just letting you know what your character could be prepared for, because it's reasonable and something you could guess at. So yeah, it being 4 in.the.morning and your experiment done, you are made to clean up a little bit before Visandrius kind of puts, all the things you've given him into the safe under his workbench, among the ashes and destroyed remains of whatever was in there before your first nitro experiment blew up. He seems either to not notice that it's not nearly as safe as he had previously told you, or not care. And then he's going to, straighten out as straight as he gets, which is always hunched. And turn towards you, kind of folding his arms creakily behind his back. And he says, I believe that's all the time we have for tonight, boys. But hopefully I've given you a gift that will keep on giving to your enemies.
Oh, you certainly have. And I can't wait to try it out.
and I can't wait to hear descriptions of the results. Now, I must send you back to the university, so off with you. And he's going to kind of shoo you out, somewhat physically, like pushing you along from behind with his two hands that are barely gloved. And he's going to not shove, but definitely coax you out the door. And I want you to make a perception check.
I love the idea that a brand new student at the school who's never seen an elf before will be introduced to Visandrius as their first elf. They're like, oh, elves are beautiful, glamorous, and oh my god.
Well, I rolled the same as my passive at 29.
Alright, what'd you get there, Jib?
I got a 15.
What
My
did...
passive is 21.
15 is what I got on die.
15. What did Simucyrus get? For perception.
Oh, I think, if I remember how we have melded what proficiencies and things I have for the simulacrum, I think I got 9.
9. Okay. Is Laramendus back?
I just got back.
Ah, perfect. Perception
It's
check.
either 9 or it's 28.
Those are very different numbers.
Gonna go with...
Laramendus' perception is it's a great number. Yeah, never before seen such an 8. You know, it's just
Green.
Sorry, I'm 24.
it's the 8est 8 ever.
it really is. It's a 2 on die.
Amazing. Alright, give me just a second. Not that.
Did I miss anything that I should be aware of immediately?
You are aware that your two budding alchemist friends have received a physically stable version of the nitroglycerin that he has told them the chemical formula is trinitrotoluene, having finally found a substrate that it can be mixed with to form a physical powder. He demonstrated this by taking the powder, putting it in a handkerchief, tying it up, setting the handkerchief on fire, and then throwing it out the window. It exploded outside the building. The explosion was not
it's
small.
Like 3 in the morning.
It's 4 in the morning now. Nothing appeared to happen. They took another 15 minutes, the three of them kind of cleaning up the lab a bit. He was given more purple worm poison, said he needed to, his next priority was to find a replacement lab assistant for his purple worm poison testing. And then, thanked the alchemist boys for their work. Hoped that they would share their results with him. And then
And he was told about Bottled Night.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I was laughing about.
They told him that they wanted to know about this. They told him that it came from your parents in the Feywild. They told him that they had given it to the Temple of Ione, and that the Temple of Ione had been slowly feeding them information on its components. To which he said, oh good, the Temple of Ione has it. They historically have a policy of not asking why you want information from them, and that works just fine for him. At which point he then, said thank you and good night and started shuffling you all out the door, kind of physically. And as you did so with your average 15 in perception, you do all get a lurching sensation in your stomachs as you're brushed by this man out the door back onto the flagstones of the Marble City. All of you recognize this lurching sensation as what usually accompanies teleportation. You also note that wherever that detonation outside his window happened, it has left no mark. You also note that despite it being past 3 in the morning and there having been several loud explosions, no one seems to be up and searching for the source of them. Though that could be attributed to them knowing better.
If you look for the source, then maybe you'll find it, and that's worse.
Indeed. I wanted
Yeah,
to...
like once we're across the threshold, and I kind of get that, be like, okay, that makes sense.
So that's how he does it. I wonder why we didn't feel it on the way in.
I think Larraman is going to look very pointedly at the doorway, like the door frame.
Uh-huh. Oh, you can roll Arcana.
Let's pick a die that I haven't rolled yet today. Let's do this one. Okay, let's do this one instead. That was a poor choice. Shouldn't have rolled that one.
That's only a...
It's a 25.
Oh, man.
If I had rolled the other one, it would have been a 37.
Oh, no. Anyway, you feel pretty confident that he has... When you were in his lab, it was somewhere other than the university. Possibly a demiplane, or even a magnificent mansion. And this door here to this building represents the entrance to that demiplane. That you didn't notice going in is probably a feature of the fact that you chose to walk in, whereas on your way out, you were being forced out.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It is not unreasonable.
This situation is worth somebody's 7th level spell slot every day.
It is not unreasonable that he has set this up so that he has a place to work, and it is likely he's devised some way that unwanted guests aren't allowed to enter or stay, though you'd have to interrogate him specifically as to the details on that. But that you didn't notice it on the way in, but did notice it on the way out, tells you that there's something a little unconventional about it.
Interesting.
Now that you are a master of the arcane and literally can't get any better at it than you are, yes, you are quite sure you have this thing at least whittled down to he's done something special. It's probably either a demiplane entrance or a magnificent mansion entrance, or some combination of the two. So, you have this opportunity to hang out until a more reasonable hour, which is only like an hour away, and find somebody important to talk to, or you can head back to the teleportation hub and leave.
I think that Larraman does want to wait so that he can call on Dinamara, since he is here.
Okay.
Vendar will make sure. If they're going to do that, if you can, then he'll try to make sure to get any of the materials to make the TNT. Like, especially the mixture that stabilized it.
Aha. The toluene.
Yeah.
You've forgotten someone, have you? Four people entered, 3 people left.
Devil's still in there.
Where the fuck is he? Oh, there he is!
But,
He was hidden behind a pillar.
Now, as we're leaving, Jebel, reminded of Bottle Night, will turn to Lara Mendes and say, "You really don't remember anything about Bottle Night?"
No.
Oh, it's weird stuff.
I'm sure.
So mean.
you're lying, aren't you?
Do you
I
remember
mean,
why?
roll insight on him, I suppose.
Let's see. It's a 31.
Fuck.
Mine was only a 15.
So, Lara Mendes is an open book. I got a 3 on die. So, I think it's clear to you that he is not lying that he doesn't remember, but he's like there's just something like he is telling the truth that he doesn't remember, but like there's something deep down that like is still affecting him in some way from it.
And I hope Sanders figures out what it is.
I hope not.
Well, we kind of know what it does.
We did learn.
I don't want to hear it.
What were the effects? I'll write that down somewhere.
The blindness thing.
I think Lara just walks farther away if you're going to be talking about that.
Reasonable.
And Jebel will kind of like pick up pace to stay catch up. Just like, whose idea was it to make something like that?
I suppose
It was
that
not your
wouldn't-
family's. They were just hired to do it.
Okay.
Do you remember who hired them?
I
That would have been taken
probably
too.
not. Yeah. That information is not something that we were allowed, or that we wanted to keep, rather.
How was that part of it? I wonder if it was the Fae that commissioned you to make it that took the information back. They told you how to make it, and then also took the information back once you're done.
I don't think it's worth trying to look into, given how these bargains are struck.
Yeah, probably not. Still, would like to know everything I can about it.
I wonder, is it made for recreational purposes or is it poison? Because I don't know the Fae well enough to tell, like, what they enjoy.
I think it is in the best interest of mortals to not ask questions like that of Fae.
I think we can use it as poison, whatever was
Yeah.
was.
Out of character, that'd be some trip.
Yes. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna like, are the Fae immortal, or are they just long-lived?
It's probably not uniform, Sam.
Yeah, that depends on who you are referring to, and honestly, probably also when you're referring to it.
Is it possible for an archfey to be killed?
It is not unprecedented, although it is
How different than that is
uncommon.
killing a god? They seem pretty.
There are
pretty powerful.
more records. So I guess to Tristan, I believe there are more like records, or at least stories, of archfey being killed than gods.
Yeah,
But like,
definitely.
okay, there are more stories, but I would not want to attempt it.
Are they like devils and demons where you have to kill them in their plane?
Probably. It's not an unreasonable assumption, but Fae are weird, and they definitely don't want people knowing that.
It's probably the safest assumption, because if you're wrong, then you have made a very big mistake.
Well, it's a good thing we're not planning on killing any Archfey.
It's known about devils just because they tend to be attacked, but Fae, they maintain that air of mystery because most people don't attack them, and those that do, people remember more the people that attacked the Fae than the Fae they attacked.
Yeah.
Because those are the ones they tell stories about, like the horrible thing that happened to Steve and his entire family. Half of them turned into frogs, the other half of them turned into alligators, the alligator half got eaten by the frog half!
You weren't gonna expect that, but like it was... oh.
Yeah.
Must have been big frogs.
Yeah.
No.
Just carnivorous. They're like piranhas.
But frogs are carnivorous already.
So we don't know which Fae Steve fucked with, but you know what? We're not gonna fuck with any Fae, because they could probably all do that.
Because maybe you fuck with the one that Steve fucked with.
Yeah. Not worth the risk.
No, Jello's going back in now, but like... Yeah, no, I just wonder, because like... If you're particularly long-lived, you're gonna seem to be immortal from the perspective of someone else.
I love you telling that to an elf.
And I'll try, like, as long as nothing kills me, I could live for another 5,000 or so years.
No, I love you telling that to an elf.
Yeah, I feel like that's the first time that Laramendus is aware of this fact about Archdruids.
Yeah, I think it's the first time Laramendus is aware of it.
So he just sort of like is sort of like nodding along to things, and then just like sort of stops.
What?
And just like looks at you.
Didn't know
And he's
live
just
that long. Vendar will say that.
Vendar says... What does
Thought they
Vendar
were
say?
short-lived, right? I didn't know
He
them that long. I thought they were a short-lived race.
Gnomes.
Gnomes.
Or halfling. Wait, you're a gnome, aren't you?
Gnome.
I said no.
Yeah. I try to say... Well, gnomes live about 500 or so years, but I'm a pretty powerful druid, so you times that by 10.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
So now you're in like the first 0.001% of your life.
Something like that.
I wonder all the things you're gonna do in the next 5,000 years. You're like Elrond. I was there 10,000 years ago.
I was there 3,000 years ago.
Elrond was a half-elf.
Yeah, elves are weird in Tolkien. Let's not think about it.
Yeah, because wasn't he like the grandson of one of the...
I don't know. I'm not thinking about it.
Here, the weird thing is that Aragorn is like his great grandnephew.
I'm the only one not thinking about it.
So Aragorn married his like, great granddad.
I'm definitely not thinking
Once
about
removed.
that. So, Archdruid, 5,000 years.
That's why Aragorn was like 80 in Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Oh, that's how he lived to be so old. Didn't know that he
Yeah,
was
he's part elf.
hundreds, so.
No, not thinking about it. Okay.
I think
Archdruid, 5,000 years.
I do hope that you I do hope that you make sure to visit the Temple of Ione occasionally.
That would be his concern.
I think that's
Yeah,
well,
Joe's
I
just
think that, like
okay.
that's the only thing that like he can like that's not his but it's like the thing that like he's gonna say
Yeah.
as he's trying to like really process that amount of time for a gnome to live. And then he just gets like a far off look, and he like whispers, "Jerry."
Yeah, Jerry's a druid. Little did we know. 7,000 years, motherfucker.
So that's how it's based. It's 10 times your normal lifespan.
It's for every 10 years you age 1 year.
Ah. So if an elf was an archdruid, they would live like shitload longer.
Yeah,
But if a
like
human was a druid, they wouldn't live
2.5
anywhere near. They would still not live anywhere near as long as an archdruid. No.
Yeah, I mean, if you assume
I'm gonna live
10x,
about 1,000
7,000
years.
for elves and 1,000 for humans.
Yeah.
But 1,000 years
long
is still a
time.
long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so long. Imagine someone you just meet somebody that's been around for 5,000 years. It's like, yeah, I still got another 2,000 to go.
You know, I mean, Gliss probably was hanging around when Shagrazir put down the dragons the last time.
That's some first-hand knowledge.
That probably should have come up. I didn't think about it.
Yeah, but like, would he care?
Maybe.
He's busy with
Dragons
other
are
stuff.
bad for the environment.
Yeah, but he's busy with other stuff,
He is.
and that's why Jebel's doing what Jebel's doing.
true.
He gets to focus on his fun projects.
Gliss, you knew about this, right?
instead of his
Oh!
apprentice.
Yeah, about 1,000 years ago, right? Yeah, I do remember there being some hubbub
There
about
was a
some
ruckus.
dragons doing something, and then all of a sudden they weren't, and that seemed great. What happened? I was living in the woods.
There's always something interesting about like an entity that has a specific area that they deal with, and anything like shitty that goes on outside of that area, they're like, okay, it's like that's nothing to do with me.
I'm gonna be over here in the Feywild.
Like I remember there's some manga where it's like there are gods whose job is to protect humanity and prevent their extinction. And there are demons who are going on about like all the shitty things that they do. And the gods are just looking at them, and the demons are like, okay, I was expecting a little bit more from like that. And they're like, oh no, we don't care about all that. That's human like morality you're talking about there. But we have no interest in that. We're just preventing the extinction of humans.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care
Well,
what they
that's
do.
not helping.
Still be there.
Yeah, it is just this. I think it's just a really interesting idea that like perspectives can be different, can be wildly different, and alien.
That'll do it. Take it. Come on, right down. There we go. Good enough. And apply game board. Alright. So, sun begins to rise as it heads toward normal people operational hours. The early birds of the 5 a.m. hour are starting to leave their buildings to go into other buildings. And now it is reasonable for you to go find Dean Amara.
So, when we were in Sandrius's study,
Yeah.
would Lara Mendes like have looked out the window and just been like, "That's not right"?
I think that Lara Mendes was very focused not on the windows.
I also
I think he was very
Until
focused
something
on
was
what was
thrown
going on in front of him with the explosives.
Yeah. I also feel like Vicandrius would have taken the time to make what is outside the windows look like what is outside his building,
Yeah.
so that anybody who he happens to invite in is very unlikely to realize he's done this.
Yeah. Makes it easier to have
More in
people not
terms
ask
of
questions.
Time.
Hmm?
Like if Demiplanes and Magnificent Mansion, do they have like daytime, nighttime?
They can.
Or is
Yeah, I think like Lara Mendes' does. It
Yeah.
just doesn't have a sun.
Yeah.
But like there are shadows and there's light as if there was one, which is why it's so unsettling.
Yeah. They can honestly, especially the Magnificent Mansion, can look any way the caster wants it to.
Ah.
Of course, there was the intention to make his look unsettled. I love that kid.
Like you don't need to look. It's just a waste of effort to like
Why look
do
up?
more than like why do those pixels need to exist? I mean like
Lysandrius, why do all the shadows in here stretch towards the light?
Oh no. Shadesmar.
it's happening again. Run.
Like I'm not a physicist. Shadows, light, who cares?
You ask him that, and then he's like, "What do you mean?" And you look down, and the shadows are how they should be.
We've all got each other's shadows.
One of the shadows is just like whistling, like nonchalantly.
Okay. You are able to go
Yes.
seek out Dean Amara at this time.
Laramendus will say, "I don't know that you all need to come with me if there's something that you want to do at the library or something."
You guys are able to go and attempt to acquire your things, magic items, and substrates, and what do we call them? Precursors to your machines of death. So we'll assume that those two go off to do that. Over here, sure. Boop. Bye. You are going to call upon Dean Amara. We'll just have the meeting out here. Luckily, she's an early riser. You actually run into her on her morning jog. God. Her token is so small.
Oh, right, because it's just one of the regular ones,
It's
right?
one of the original ones, which don't really compare to the... Yeah, anyway. I never made her a token.
Which is entirely fair.
Yeah.
I didn't expect us to ever come back here.
Yeah. So she'll be, jogging along. Seemingly, just watching the ground in front of her as she goes, lost in her thoughts. And you'll catch this, she'll look over and she'll nod at you and she'll keep going. And then she'll sort of, slow down a little bit. And you kind of see, that slow run. She goes, boom, 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 kind of puffing. And she, hands on her hips, kind of looking up toward the sky, and then slowly turns around and looks down at you. Blinks a few times, kind of checks where she's running. Again, looks back at you. And finally decides that this may not, in fact, be a hallucination. She comes back over and says,
Good morning.
"It is, Professor. I didn't expect you back. Perhaps at all, but definitely not so soon."
I did not expect to be back so soon, but I am. I was actually about to go towards your office to try and find you to say hi before I had to leave.
That's lucky. Before you had to leave, when did you get here?
Out of character, it's been what, 6 hours?
Yes.
About 6 hours ago.
She's going to look at the sun that is false dawn right now, so it's not even actually the sun she's looking at. She looks back at you, says, "Why?"
Timing-wise, before coming here, I had been on
Stormreef.
Stormreef Isle.
That's an interesting place to come from. Last time you were here, you were coming for the perpendicularity. Stormreef has its own. Why did you come back here? Not that I'm not happy to see you, I am. But it has left me with this one burning question. Why?
We have found ourselves, my companions and I, quite entangled with the forces heading towards the dragons.
Hold that thought.
And
She's going to lean in very close to you. And after a few seconds of her being very close, you're going to hear... And she's going to lean back away. She's like, oh, no.
Armendus will just nod. A few of my companions thought that would be helpful. It's not necessarily prudent, but helpful to pay him a visit to see what could be done with some...
I know that you
things
haven't
that they
been
found.
here in quite some time, so I don't blame you for not knowing. But it is current policy that everyone keep their distance until the next review. We have reason to believe he's been sneaking off to continue his experiments, though we haven't been able to prove it yet.
Would Laramendus...
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
Did I put you on the
open book?
spot?
I think that he... I think that he cares more about his friendship with Amara. So I think that he would
Oh,
say,
he's gonna snitch.
perhaps we should find a private place to speak.
You can like feel Vendar staring into the back of your head.
From half a
I think
mile away.
you had already run away to go and
You thought-
fetch
you
the
know-
ingredients.
You still
know.
feel it. You still feel it. Let's speak in my office.
I think Laramendus has to snitch.
Oh, goodness. The
You've been so
snitching.
helpful.
How could you think to do this?
I mean, I wouldn't have thought to do it. Where am I supposed to be looking?
I'm figuring that out. I've been dragging them kind of back and forth, trying to decide where I want to put them. I also have now lost her. Somewhere.
She's with me.
Oh, good.
Same floor.
Found it. What's a good one?
While you're sorting that, I have a question.
Yes.
If Tolkien's elves can stand on snow, why can't they stand on water?
Oh my goodness, I don't freaking know. Didn't even know they could do that.
Yeah, like you see Legolas walking across snow that everyone else is like waist deep in.
Oh, I forgot about
don't
that.
do that.
It's in the first film, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah,
book,
no.
but I was just like, water is denser than snow. Why can't he stand on water too?
Elves are bullshit.
Tolkien's
true.
elves are bullshit. Tolkien had such a fucking hard on for elves.
He really did.
They're like the best at everything.
Yeah. Alright. It's just going to look around, hold up a finger, cast a spell. Now then. What do you know?
I think Laramendus will describe what he saw and what happened. Like Santrius.
You see her listening calmly to this, but you do see that brow, just the crease in her brow deepening and deepening as you describe it. She goes, I honestly suspected something, similar to that. I just hoped it wasn't.
The magic on the place is honestly ingenious.
I'm certain he's incredibly good at doing terrible things. Maybe this will be the final straw, and we can finally protect some students from him. We've lost, in my opinion, a few too many adjuncts to him. 5, which is at least 4 too many. She seems to be...
Laramedis is just, like, nodding, like... He is very much of the same opinion, and, like, it might be 5 too many.
She very clearly had opinions about one of those adjuncts.
The third one, fuck him.
No, he got what he deserved. Well, I'm glad to know that you and your group are working diligently on this problem the world has. Several of the more recent students have left, though if you're on Stormreef, I suspect you know why, and I don't have to tell you.
Very few of them are
ready.
Laramedis, like, seems like, yeah, he is very, like, lost for words.
No, she fills in. Ready for anything like that? Yes. Many of them came to us in the last 2 months. That's hardly enough time to master a single cantrip. They want to avenge their families, and I understand that. I do. But we can't teach them the magic they need that quickly.
I'm hopeful that I can convince some to be in more supporting roles that will put them in the least amount of danger. But
we're facing something unheard of. I would promise you the best professors and their best fighters, combat mages in this fight to come, if I didn't think that it was terribly important that someone survive this mess to pass the knowledge on. At least, if everything goes sideways, we'll be here and able to do something about preserving that knowledge, even if we can't save Amaranta.
okay, Laramedis is gonna give her all the information that Cousin Ari gave him about the fucking
The ceiling?
yeah.
Oh.
Because he didn't share that before because it wasn't his.
Uh-huh.
But now it's his because he got more of
He
it from
did.
a different source.
Uh-huh. Just at the end of that, she's just like, secret societies, man.
It has been decently effective.
I'm not saying that it hasn't. I'm just saying that... Look, Ion's got a point, okay? If more people had known, something could have been done sooner. This is why the university exists. I know you know that. Why I wish you would stay. If you die over there, it's a waste of one hell of a mind.
We cannot send any others from the university, but I think that things will be worse if nobody can go, and I've been away for long enough that I think my expertise can be beneficial to them.
I'll
But
keep a copy of the rituals that control the scales here, and we can decide what to do with it later. How about that?
I think he does give her the original copy from Kazunari.
She's going to seem a little surprised at that gesture and take it a bit hesitantly. Says, I can make a copy.
I already have it recorded in my own notes.
Well, the Ionians are going to piss themselves over this. She's going to... She's going to lay it...
He just like, mumbles to himself.
She's going to lay it delicately on her desk and place another book on top of it so that it's concealed. I will deal with that. Make sure that copies are made. See what I can leverage out of the Ionians for it. That could fund another semester.
Armando smiles because he's
That could
essentially
fund
done
a
the
new
exact
lab.
same thing.
A new wing to the main classroom building. Okay. Well, I'm very glad you came back to visit. Even if it did mean visiting him. You seem...
In his defense, I think that the material that has been devised will be extremely useful in the near future. My concern is its long-term ramifications.
Well, he's
Enough
not
of the stuff could kill a devil.
outright?
Yeah, no. But it would not be difficult to bring enough of the material into the Hells and deal with things there.
Those are significant ramifications. He's not one to share his discoveries, so I'm not terribly worried about it being spread around the world and made into a problem by him. At least not for now. However, if the council comes down hard, as I think they should, there's no telling what he'll do, once he's not allowed to practice here anymore.
I think even if he didn't share this quickly and personally, there is little chance of it not spreading in one way or another in a not insignificant time span. The materials are already being produced by people in the black markets, and it's only a matter of time. So.
Huh. Well, I suppose they do find a way eventually. I see that you're not wearing your robes, so if you've been off the island and come back wearing them, that might have looked bad, so good.
There have been few places I've been able to travel that the safety of them has been... I've been in too large of cities recently, but I think that they will prove beneficial in the fights to come.
I think
Even at
that if
the
you're
risk.
using it, to defend Amaranta against an onslaught of dragons, that will be forgiven. Trust that I will do all in my power to cover for you should anyone decide that you should be in trouble for it.
Armanda smiles.
Well, I want you back on my team.
I think that...
I've had to deal with Jerry in your absence. That's supposed to be
I was
your
shocked that he's still here.
Are you? Are you really?
I suppose the university without him would be a much different place.
Better. Quieter. More mysterious?
I think Laramendes honestly feels that it would be a worse place without Jerry.
You see the gears as she's like trying out different adjectives, kind of turning, and she goes, less mysterious. Damn it. People love the air of mystery. Well, nobody's voting to get rid of him. Just, you know who.
I hope that the review goes in the way that it should to protect the people here.
It will depend. He's always covered his ass by giving up little secrets here and there. The products of his experiments, buying off the council with those advances in alchemy. If he's got another one, especially one as powerful as you've suggested, it would not surprise me if it worked again.
Character, that's one way to fund new buildings. Supply the Temple of Ione with how to produce TNT.
They have a very good relationship with the Temple of Ione.
Vendar might try to scout for Sandrius. Take him. God.
Put him up in your mom's house.
I mean...
Well, now that he knows that the guy is doing
like,
this in a mansion, like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, and he's and my mom's living in Everwatch right now.
The family estate.
No one's living in the family estate. I'll go to the family estate and I'll surprise the world, start the Industrial Revolution by me and Sandrius changing the world.
Oh my god. Terrible.
This is how the second era of Mistborn begins.
Are we gonna end up with the Visandrius Peace Prize, or?
Yeah, we're gonna play the campaign in the future, and it's the railroads everywhere. Sandrius and Vendar are gonna have statues, titans of industry.
Oh no.
Jebba will be there to determine those guys.
Jebba will absolutely be there, watching it all happen.
5,000 years of I should have stopped them. I could have stopped them. Why didn't I stop them? I just thought it's fine, and he'll lose interest in a few weeks, and none of this will be a problem. You know, it never follows through on anything. He followed through on it. Okay. So, Amara, pleased that you're back. Grateful for your information. Really hoping to kiss Visandrius goodbye. Not kiss, not at all. But you know what I mean.
She has the boot ready, like it's right there. It's just like it's polished and everything. Yeah. Just
it's a boot. It's got conjuration magic on it. You kick somebody with it, it teleports them away.
It'd be such a fun magic item.
It's just called the boot.
Somebody to cast banishment on them.
I gave him the boot.
It's just like the banhammer, which is the hammer that does the same thing.
But the best thing, But you give them the boot. You hand it to them. They're confused. Why are you handing me a boot? But that's the trigger for the glyph of warning.
When they ask why while holding it, that's...
It's a boot. That would be great. Give him the boot. Okay. Have you anything left that you wish to discuss with her? Because that's really all she wanted to touch on.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much like Larmanus pretty much like his main intent was he didn't want her to find out that he had been here without going to visit her. That was going to be bad for his future prospects. Considering he wants to work under her again.
I mean, it seems to have gone exactly to plan.
Now he has to tell Yukikaze that he said some things. And he needs to not tell Vendar that he said some things.
Alright. Vendar, you are able to get some of the precursors for your TNT. The more chemical ones, you were told the natural way of getting the glycerin. So everything
Yeah,
else.
I figure I can get that on Stormreef.
Yeah. Jebel, it's for you. Asking around about purchasing magic items. Here, they do have kind of the magic equivalent to pottery class, where people are learning to craft their spellcasting implements, and they're given access to these items to break down later. So they do have some like very basic magic items that you can purchase for exorbitant amounts of money.
I would think that like those also help fund like the students can sell things that they've done there to help fund their own tuition and all that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like half of these are like, it's a wand that has one charge on it that can cast fireball once a day, that kind of thing. They do have the like staff of the master wizard, kind of stuff like that is like their absolute heirlooms and symbols of the college, which they are not willing to part with. Trying to think if they would have anything mid-tier, but it's they're definitely trying to get you to buy the students' arts and crafts projects for lots of gold. I mean, the best thing about those things is that they're not attune items. They're kind of just like...
That's what I really do want, just something charged, because my attunement slots are full.
Yeah. So, I mean, for, probably like 300 GP, you could pick up, honestly, like a little ring that once a day can shoot ray of frost out of it. A hairband that once a day gives you freedom of movement for one turn. So, tell me a spell like that you would use once a day, and I'll make that item for you. Tell you how much it costs. Not in that order.
Don't jump to anyone else while I'm looking up spells.
I can or do not.
Do you want to?
I don't have much time left, so the only other thing I really can do is jump you guys back to Stormreef. So, which is why I did all the Stormreef stuff at the beginning. I knew this would be the lion's share, so thank you guys for hanging for that. I'm always sorry to focus so hard like that, but I'm just... I know what I want.
Unfortunately, split the party.
You split the party, yeah, but, like, it's also, like, their thing is more of a summary kind of thing, like, anyway. Like, I could jump in there and try to come up with an antic that's going on to deal with during the day, but, like, they rolled, they did really well, they're training the army real good. You guys are the ones dealing with, like, not nameless NPCs. I honestly had originally figured that, like, each day the training would be summarized and then we'd go to sleep and there would be, like, another dream sequence that was a combat that got back more of Vendar's items.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't how it worked out, but that's okay. Put a lot of work into this place.
But I got TNT.
And you got TNT.
I can't wait to blow shit up.
I feel like Laramendas should invest in some mines in what's the name of your country?
Aspara?
Aspara.
You want to get rich? I'm gonna change the world, man. Aspara is gonna be the center of the change. The world's
The problem
gonna
is Laramendas cares
revolutionize.
nothing for money.
So you can have a seat at the top.
I forgot how much work
Maybe
I
you
put
can
into this
influence us instead of just
The,
leaving us to our own devices.
place. God.
The work you put into the Marble City.
Yeah. Like, I'd
Yeah.
love for there to be more of it, but even just this little bit looks pretty good. Pleased with it.
I'm still really happy about the diagonal windows.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Diagonal windows.
The little gold fences up in the room that we keep using to represent, like, Vicandria's lab.
Oh yeah. Like the lattice for the
Yeah.
windows.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I had help building this, but I'm really glad with how it
And
turned
you kind of
out.
have to with something like this.
I wish it was a little easier, but yeah.
I mean, it's not necessarily difficult, it's just time consuming.
That's what I mean. Very time consuming. My library is entirely representative. There's nothing inside it. Like, I need a big impressive building. Be like, that's the library. What's in there? Books. But there's no books. Alright, Archdruid. You want to think about it between sessions?
Might be an idea.
Okay.
Give you plenty of time.
Yep. Well, we'll just call it there. He gets what he's looking for. We'll work out the price and what it does. You guys, I think you've got nothing left to do, so we can start next session with you getting back to Stormreef.
Yeah.
Gosh, at least 7 hours later. Probably a little more.
Still, that's like half the day we still got left.
Yeah. And they've had a good long bit of training going on. So yeah. You head back to the one place that allows teleportation, and you transfer back to Stormreef Isle with your information, your items, your knowledge, and your ambitions. And we'll call it there. I never have to say XP again. Grant.
It's weird.
It's really weird.
At least not in this campaign.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say, like, okay, 5,000, and I'm like, wait, no, everyone's max. We're good.
And now you tell us for the final fight we're level 21.
Yeah. You're level 21. What does it mean? The stat blocks don't have a level 21. Means whatever you think.
Just take a level in another class.
Level 1 Wizard. Alright. Well, thank y'all for being here. And, yeah. We'll get some good roleplay next time, I think, as you guys need to catch each other up on everything that happened and, decide if you all want to fucking kill Vendar before he can ruin the world with his industrial revolution.
You say ruin, I say improve. You know, same thing.
Like, I'm just saying, Saruman is not the good guy.
You know,
Okay,
the movies didn't include what he did at the end of the book. I don't think it's bad that they didn't include it, but it definitely gives you another facet of his personality. Anyway, thanks y'all for being here, and we'll see you next time on Everybody Loves Raiken. Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.
Goodbye.